What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining us once again here at I&L Danger Room Reviews. And we have the Ragin' Cajun himself, your favorite Cajun snack. And we're not talking about Popeye's chicken sandwich. We're talking about Gambit here, Remy LeBeau, and he is looking finer than ever. So please stick around if you want to check out Gambit with us. We're going to share our thoughts, and we'd love to hear from you. Hey guys, thanks again for joining us at I&L Danger Room Reviews. We really appreciate everyone that has subscribed, left comments on our previous videos. Today, this is something I've really been waiting for quite some time. I know my friend Latrice has probably more than I, but definitely has been something I've been looking forward to, and seeing him in person does not disappoint whatsoever. Today we have the brand new Sideshow Maquette, and this is the exclusive edition of Gambit, kind of continuing on the X-Men line, pairs up with the Rogue Danger Room, also in Maquette, right, Latrice? Yeah. Okay, also Maquette. Yeah, it pairs up with that one beautifully. So we're going to jump into just a review today, guys. I will say, after watching Latrice put it together for a second time right now, it would benefit you to find an unboxing video if you do have Gambit on the way or brand new in hand right now. Definitely check out a video. Sideshow did one that's pretty good. But I would check that out because there was a lot of like little pieces here that were...
Yeah, every explosion is basically its own piece. So yeah, it's just kind of jigsawing it together.
Yeah, it was a little complicated. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have known where to just kind of guess and jump right in. I know some statues are like that, but this is not that one. Yeah. So check that out. But that's not us today, guys. We are just doing a review. Right off the bat, let's kind of go, start from the bottom, go up, start with the base. We are continuing with the same Danger Room floor that both Juggernaut got, Rogue got, Colossus, you're right. I was remembering there was at least one more. And I believe that was all of them so far in the series. Mm-hmm. Again, just like the other ones, super nice base, really nice quality, good weight to it. The flooring looks really great, has that same multicoloration. Definitely just doesn't look like a black sleet like floor. It looks like it has to be some sort of like
reflective. Yeah,
kind of like futuristic, reflective, some sort of like holographic, yeah. That's the word I was looking for. Kind of flooring, because you can see like almost like pixelation in there, and mm-hmm. Some weird kind of textures that are underneath. Then of course when you got the breakage happening, it definitely looks very real. You can see the light shimmering off of the different shards and stuff right there as I turn it. So yeah, definitely, again, high quality, really nice, just like the other ones there. Anything else about the base, Latrice, before we kind of go up the claw here?
No, I mean, it looks really good. It's just like Rogues when they're side by side. I mean, they could be right next to each other, you know.
Yeah.
In the actual room.
In the room together.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I asked Latrice, and again, this is from her collection. The Rogue that we reviewed was from her collection as well, so I don't get to see it often. But I asked her, are they the same diameter? And I believe this one is a little smaller.
It's a little bit smaller, yeah.
Yeah, and I think you're right, Latrice, because as I'm like putting it on here,
hers took up the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
Smaller, yeah.
Yeah, I think hers fit around this like perfect. Mm-hmm. It was almost like flush.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of see just a little bit of the difference there. But once again, like, it's a substantial base. I mean, it carries weight, it carries presence. Then of course, let's go ahead and move on up into this Danger Room claw. Mm-hmm. That's like, kind of posted onto the ground there. I mean, that's just huge and intimidating all on its own too. And when you just have it sitting there without any of the explosions or Gambit on top or anything, it still just looks like really intense. It's very foreboding. It's like, you know, nicely done.
Yeah, all the inside areas here too are really detailed, and you can feel like all the whatever this is on the inside.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, the claws are like also kind of sharp.
Yeah.
And as Latrice
I poked myself.
poked
Trying
herself.
to put this thing together.
Yeah. So definitely a great, very detailed piece. I love to see, similar to Rogue's as well, the kind of bolting on, you know, the base of this claw here, how it obviously is being impacted from his explosions, his motion kind of going over it. And it's uprooting. You can actually see as you go a little bit more flush with the table, you can see that it's actually not level, it's slanted because it's being uprooted out of the ground. There's even some exposure, some bolts here. You can see kind of the tread or the thread, I mean, on them. So definitely like a lot of little details to be found, even on the back corner per se of the statue, which you may not even see. So yeah, I mean, really great, you know, base here. And I love the Danger Room concept execution on these. You know, some things that I have seen in the past are, you know, usually Sentinel related, which are also really cool. But I love the Danger Room because there's so much imagination and just kind of anything that can happen in the Danger Room. So it leaves the kind of potential for the base, I guess, like really wide open for the artist to really kind of play with. And I've really loved what they've done with these because, I mean, it really reminds you once again that when they went into these training rooms, like it was very dangerous. Like they got hurt sometimes, you know, and you could have your life in danger if the wrong things kind of happened, or, you know, sometimes the villains would go and kind of, you know, tweak the Danger Room or kind of like try to mess with it and stuff because they knew it was like, it was already pretty deadly. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, this is just a really cool reminder of all that. You know, it was purposeful, it was all part of their training, but it kind of just tells that story of them like facing dangers with such, you know, kind of, I guess, like grace and ease. And it's just something that they're so used to. So part of their everyday life per se. So I thought that's a really cool concept that Sideshow kind of went with and ran with, and it looks really cool, I think, with all four of those statues.
I agree.
Anything else on the base? The explosions. Let's talk about the explosions, Latrice. You were saying, I mean, I actually haven't touched them.
Yeah.
But you were saying they're a little like fragile, right? So there's no give or kind of bend to them.
Yeah, no, they're very, I mean, I just don't want them to break.
Yeah.
But they come to very thin points. So it's just, I try not to touch them.
Yeah.
I don't want them to break, but.
Dude, but they look really
They magnetize
great.
in really well, and they look really good. It's that pink from his energy.
Yeah, from his
explosions,
his cards and everything. Yeah, and you can totally see the points of impact and kind of how it gets darker as like I'm assuming either debris or things are kind of flying, little pieces, you know, smoke, whatever it all may be. But yeah, I mean, I think that looks really good, and it adds, like, again, a lot of motion. You know, you could have went with just a couple of these, or, you know, nothing at all. Yeah, and it adds motion when you look at the whole thing, and you see his leaping, you see his lack of contact, especially right here with his foot. You see, of course, I mean, his cards, like we're going to get to like those, like that energy blast there. But, and then of course, this is his collector's edition portrait. You see a lot of his longer hair, which is a little bit of a later Gambit look, 90s and 2000, later 90s and 2000s kind of look in the comics. But you see a lot of motion. Oh, of course, what am I even skipping on here? His trench coat. Hello. All of that, though, when you see all of that together, I mean, you could just see this kind of happening, him like jumping, you know, bam, bam, jumping over it onto the next item, you know, as he's navigating through the Danger Room exercise. So Just really great. Like, you know, kudos on this too. I think this came out perfect, beautiful. It kind of tells the story of what's happening here as well too, as the claws, like, you know, getting ripped forward. Really great. I mean, can't say enough good stuff about, you know, the base alone, like without even getting into the rest. Any other thoughts, Latrice? Anything else I miss?
No.
Cool. Let's move on up to the Raging Cajun himself. So what are your thoughts on execution here, Latrice, for Gambit?
I think he's perfect.
Yeah, he has to be like honestly the best Gambit I think I've seen on the market.
Yeah.
XM, you know, and I know there's some real like XM junkies out there that really stick by XM, and I get it, but I'm like being unbiased here, where I think like this is my favorite I've seen. It looks really great. And again, I just like this motion that they've captured really great. So
I mean, the colors of his costume are classic.
Yeah,
Classic colors. It's his costume. Like, it's not
100%. It's not an interpretation
really
of anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, down to I was noticing even on his like knee guards right there. It was always that triangle kind of thing in design in there. Mine has it too on the other one. I was noticing that little detail in there too. The boots look, I mean, absolutely amazing. They have that real metal kind of finish. There's, you know, multi like metal tones in there as you get to the little crease points. Looks, I mean, real as metal. I mean, yeah, see, I mean, like, I want to touch it just to see, is it cold to the touch? Like, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I love the tread as well, too, underneath the feet as well. It reminds me, again, of Rogues. There was some great detailing on the feet as she was also flying. Again, great execution there. To your point, Latrice, too, perfect tones of purples in here. Perfect color choice. The stripes, the chest plate, the neck plate, everything is 100% to the way that it was in the old 90s, like Jim Lee era, 90s X-Men animated series like era. Like, everything's right there. Like, no interpretation, no modernization, nothing like, you know, tweaked. No, it's just like nailed. They nailed it. I mean, really did. And that's one thing that I know, like, and to be fair, I know some of that has to do with licensing. Like with XM, I don't think they get the full license or something with Marvel that Sideshow does. But like, hey, like, you know, as a buyer, I don't really care about that stuff. I care about what the product comes out like. And I mean, this is like 100% Gambit, literally like leaping off the page. Looks really, really great. Yeah, and I mean, color, I mean, sculpt alone is amazing, but the color app is like super clean too. Everything is like really well done. We talked about the metal on the boots and everything, but everything as far as the blacks and the purples, perfect color choices like we talked about, beautifully executed. All the little intricacies on the neck piece as well, like really nicely done. You get really very like small and fine and precise little wrinkle spots and the legs too that were sculpted in, just to remind you that it is a costume. It's not some magical like skin like whatever cover. So it actually looks you know, very realistic. Love that point as well too. I mean, Gambit's showing his cake as well. I mean, everyone loves some Cajun cake, like, hello. I mean, Gambit's looking really great here.
The paint on the jacket too is like,
yeah, I was gonna go into the jacket just right now on its own, because the jacket is something to behold, man. I mean,
it looks like a worn leather jacket.
It really does. And you know, that was one thing I was kind of talking with Latrice about. Like, I love the lining too, like the little details of, you know, like the stitching, the lining, how it separates from, you know, all of that. Like, you can even see in the splits. Like, that's so cool. But we just got a great announcement. Latrice and I have been waiting forever. Every single time there's a new release, we're like holding our breath, like, what is it? Not another Wolverine or Deadpool, please. But yeah, so we finally have a Storm on the way, another Storm, and we are thinking it's the right costume one based off of the shadow figure. Picture that we saw.
That is the hope.
That's the hope, fingers crossed. But nonetheless, we were kind of just discussing, like, what is the cape going to be? Mixed media? Is it going to be like a fabric cape, or is it going to be sculpted like this?
Yeah.
And, I know there's all this preference here and there amongst the community and collector community. I don't have a preference. I like both. I have nothing against mixed media whatsoever. But then I was just looking at this execution as Latrice was assembling Gambit. And I was like, I would not be angry at that whatsoever, because this is really beautifully done. And I know I could form a cape into something really great too, or in this case, his trench coat into something really great too. But I mean, it is beautiful too. So I don't think, again, like, it only puts me further into that same spot where I'm like, I could go either way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be angry either way. I'm just so stoked for getting this Storm. But I mean, like, even the little bit of the wares,
so good.
They have like random little like, bits on the, especially on the ends, because this is the part of the coat that would, drag on the ground a little bit. Yeah. And so you can see like some definite like kind of weathering and, kind of some stitch work there in the sculpt to make it look that way. And then there's, of course, other stitching lines and everything. I mean, the bunching right here, I mean, everything just looks really nicely done. The popped collar. I mean, that coat is awesome. It's way awesome. Gambit's signature staff, looking really sharp too. Love the texturing that's kind of in the hand area here as well. Not just a solid staff. It looks really sharp. I mean, no detail kind of lost there, even on the ends here. This is really nice. All right, let's go into the card throw. Latrice, talk to me about this card throw.
We always talk about how, we prefer to see the mutants showcasing their powers.
Yeah.
This is like the perfect example of it.
Yeah, is this the best so far?
Yeah, it's so cool. And I mean, you got the aces. They're all, see them coming out of the energy. I like that even that the energy is on like almost all of his fingers. So it's not just coming out of one area. You can see it coming off of his whole hand.
Even like his little fingers here that just have little remnants of it. God, I was just noticing that too on his thumbs. I mean, it just looks really great there. Yeah.
And I like that I think it looks good. This is also kind of fragile, but it's like, I think this is kind of perfect. It's a little see-through,
Yeah.
Translucent. It's not just like a solid pink swoosh.
Absolutely not.
I feel like that would be weird.
Yeah, everything's kind of, broken up at random here too. You can see definitely it's not some just cookie cutter looking, swoosh like you're saying. The back of the cards too, that was something you brought out, really cool. Logo. Yeah, it has that little that bicycle card kind of look, but it has the X logo in the middle. So it's like really sharp looking too. So yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the best examples, especially of recent memory of my own, where they're really showcasing, some power here. Yeah, power. And I mean, this is one of the best. This is one that's gonna like be in my mind as like a mental bar when I'm thinking about, other characters, that are coming down the line. Because this is awesome. This is really, really, really cool.
I mean, I really appreciate the fact that they're doing it more now. I mean, you had Cyclops where he actually had the optic blasts, and you had
absolutely right
Mystique where she had the one arm that was changing.
Exactly, first ever on the market. And then you had Rogue who was flying, and lifting something out of the ground, instead of just standing there, in a kind of museum pose. So, Yeah, I mean, they're definitely really leaning into that more. And I also appreciate that, like, more power to all of that. Cause, yeah, cause show the powers, man. That's what we come for. We like, you know, we kind of like rank our favorites and who's strongest and everything, like mostly off of like power set.
Yeah.
So we want to see that, right? Okay, let's kind of round it off with the portrait really quick. So again, like we talked about, a little bit more of the modern portrait with the longer hair, typically outside of the motion, you know, with everything that he's doing and jumping, the hair would fall down and it kind of like rests right below the ear, if I'm not mistaken, usually a part in the middle of his hair with this hairstyle. So again, more of a modern portrait, but really nicely done. You can see the facial expression, the shadowing around the face for the 5 o'clock shadow. Again, the kind of cowl, I know it's like an open face cowl, but like, you know, again, the cowl is like really nicely done there. Nicely paint apt as well. Like when you look at the lines around the ears, the face, everything like that. It's all looking super sharp.
I do kind of wish the eyes had a little bit more color, or that it was a little bit brighter.
For like the red.
Pink or red. I mean, it's there.
It is there, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
A little bit more.
Yeah, it's really cool though that you can see the pupils. I do like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe mine, the original OG, is just all pink or purple, or red or whatever it is. But there isn't like pupils visible. Yeah. So it looks like in this one at least, it's more like eye coloration almost. Which is sharp looking, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, you know, you have to kind of get up close and look at it to really see it, rather than it kind of being a defining feature that pops. So I can agree with that. All right, any other thoughts on the collector portrait?
No, I like it. I mean, I'm probably going to, so this is going to be one that I'll probably switch out.
I agree.
Because they're both really good.
They're really good. I mean, the hair, again, is like super nicely done. I mean, they're just slaying it on the portraits, especially like the hair sculpts and stuff too. But I really do like, again, the motion that it's kind of adding to it. Yeah. It gives it just a little bit more motion, really ties the whole thing together. So I like it too. I mean, if I owned this, I would probably be switching them too. Yeah, it's a really nice one. All right, friend, you want to swap that guy out? Yeah, and of course, you know, Gambit was like a household like favorite pretty much amongst any geek of like the 90s. You know, like any kid of the like late 80s, early 90s, because like Saturday morning so cool. X-Men. Yeah, I mean, this was the guy. Every kid wanted to be him. Every girl thought he was like the best. You know, the cutest and everything. And of course, his and Rogue's romance, on and off again, but like overall long, strong romance has been like a staple of the X-Men, you know, one of the best. Dude, and then this is like just straight out of the 90s. Yeah, so classic. Like the perfect hairstyle from the 90s, like look cartoon, both comic pages and the animated series cartoon. Yeah, I mean, just perfect. I love that he has a little bit, well, I mean, they both have a similar kind of look in the sense that, serious face, no, you know, no teeth showing, that kind of thing, but there's a slight smirk in his face here. And, you know, so even though they're like not wildly different, they capture like, a totally different personality. Like this is his, like, his cocky, you know, cocky Gambit kind of personality coming out. Yeah. Like, this is the one that I would like absolutely love to see right next to Rogue, because it would, you can almost see them.
They're both doing the same thing. Like, oh, you're about to get it. Like,
yeah, they're both like, you know, they're looking at each other. You know that they're in competition. Yeah. You know that they're like, you know, stealing somebody's win from somebody else. You know, they're gonna exchange some words. Rogue's gonna put him in his place. All those good things are happening. And you can totally see that, I feel like, in this one. Yeah. Kind of like how you were saying in the Rogue one, too. She has that little side smirk, too. Like, little bit of that hidden smirk there, but man, that's a nicely executed portrait too. Let's see about the eyes. Yeah, it's about the same, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least they're consistent too,
Yeah.
though. They're like both of them look the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, I could agree with that one point. Like maybe just somehow make it pop a little bit more. But
a little bit more.
I do like how it looks more natural in this one versus in the other. In my statue, the original Sideshow Gambit, it just looks like it's like all black with like a bright red something. And this looks like eyes. These are like, eyes that are colored that color, you know? So almost like contacts, you know, if you wanted to. So yeah, oh man, but I mean, the hair on top too. I mean, he was just so cool. Everyone just, you know, loved Gambit, man. Yeah, that hairstyle, always had that cool flowy hair just poking out of the top of his cowl there, and just like kind of messy, but like cool guy messy. I mean, it just looks perfect. That's awesome.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Absolutely. Well, any other thoughts, Latrice, or any closing little things that you're noticing, remarks?
I think you got it all.
Yeah.
He's epic.
He is epic, guys. If you are just happening to find this one video, definitely go through our library and check out our review of the Rogue Maquette as well that pairs up with this one. You will not be disappointed. I mean, she's equally as breathtaking. And I do mean equally, and that's a hard feat to, you know, accomplish, because like that Rogue statue is insanity. And this is equally as so. I mean, just amazing. Really nicely done. Super impressed. Yeah, God, I can't say enough good things about this. This is where it's at. Yeah, I mean, if you were thinking about it on the fence, like jump on this guy. This is the one. This is the one you've been waiting for. Totally worth the wait. So really excited to see some continued reveals of the X-Men line. Really excited to see what the Storm is going to look like. Fingers crossed for some powers being displayed as well too, of some capacity in some way.
In the white costume.
The white costume, yes.
The white costume, please.
We are manifesting that. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for joining. Once again, please give us a like if you liked our review. Drop a comment if you have thoughts or want to ask any questions about Gambit or any of our other statues we've reviewed. Thank you so much. Please subscribe if this is your thing. We do have a couple more items coming. I think I have Doctor Strange coming at some point here really soon, if I'm not mistaken. And then the rest I think I'm still waiting on. I have the Mandalorian IG-11, but that's kind of still a little bit out. I have another Star Wars 6 scale one as well, to the Hot Toys one coming. I don't remember which one it was, and I think it just got delayed. I got an email about it. And then I also have Quicksilver, what am I saying? Silver Surfer on the way as well too, but that's a bit out. Yeah, I did I did reserve that, and so Silver Surfer is a bit out the gate as well. But so those are my two. I have two basically that are on pre-order, two major big ones. So excited for those, but we still have some stuff coming, so make sure and subscribe, see what's coming next, and stick with us. Hope to see you next time.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.